All right, well, welcome everyone. We're so happy to have Brittany Bullock here today. She is the Relationship Marketing Specialist with ABLEnow, and we're so glad to have her because I know there are always things kind of changing as we are learning to work with ABLEnow, and so I know that there have been some updates, so we're happy to have you here to share about the program and then anything new with us. For those of you who are joining the webinar today, I am recording this, so I will send you later today the link to the recording as well as Brittany's slides. What we're going to do today, so that Brittany can kind of get through her presentation, is she's going to go ahead and share her presentation with you, and we'll take questions at the end. But I don't want you to forget your questions, so feel free to either type them in the Q&A box or in the chat box, and we'll make sure that we get to them. All right, and with that, I will turn it over to Brittany. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diane, for inviting me to come share information with you all. Like she said, it's been some time and there have been some great updates to the ABLE accounts in ABLEnow. You guys may also see that my colleague is joining me today, so she's going to be in the background, just kind of absorbing this information as well. We're going to go ahead and get started. So what I want to do first is I'm going to spend some time with you all, kind of just covering the basics of the ABLE Act. So my hope today is that you all are going to leave this presentation with a better understanding of the ABLE Act, which establishes the rules and requirements of ABLE accounts, such as who is eligible, how much you can save, and how to use the accounts. We'll also take some time to talk about the features and benefits of the ABLE programs and also how to get more information and open an account. The reason this is really, really important is because ABLE accounts are a new financial tool for eligible Americans with disabilities, but we really need your help to spread the word about this empowering program. So it is estimated that around 8 million Americans with disabilities are eligible to have an ABLE account, and only around 1% of eligible Americans have actually opened their ABLE account so far. So again, we just really want to share this information with you all so that you can learn about it, but then also share it with your friends and family so that they could be aware of this program as well. I do want to also note that we are a independent state agency. I am not a licensed tax, financial, or lawyer. So unfortunately, I cannot give that tax, legal, or financial advice. So if you do have those specific questions, we just encourage you to reach out to individuals that will be able to assist you. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started with this information. Again, like Diane said, just want to be cognizant of everyone's time. So we're going to start off talking about first ABLE Act, the ABLE Act, and what are ABLE accounts. So you may have heard about ABLE. You're probably wondering, what does ABLE stand for? What even is ABLE? So ABLE accounts are a relatively new savings option specifically designed for eligible individuals with disabilities to empower them to be able to save funds for the purposes of paying for a qualified disability expense. And as you all may know, for far too long, people with disabilities could not save for the future out of the fear of losing their public benefits. Individuals with disabilities typically can only have $2,000 in assets at any given time in order to remain eligible for many benefit programs, which provide much needed support and services. So the idea for ABLE actually came about 15 years ago when a group of parents in your area in Northern Virginia were frustrated that they could establish college savings plans for their children without disabilities, but they couldn't really save money for their children with disabilities. So advocates really fought to change this inequity, resulting in the ABLE Act. And with the ABLE Act, you're empowered to save up to $17,000 a year in an ABLE account without endangering eligibility for certain means-tested disability programs like SSI or Medicaid. So for this year, Through the end of this year, you can save up to $17,000. But I do want to let you all know that starting on January 1st, that annual contribution amount will go up to $18,000. So allowing you to be able to save even a little more in your ABLE account. I also want to note as well that if you are a working account owner and you're not participating in your employer-sponsored retirement plan, you actually may be able to contribute above the annual contribution amount thanks to the Able to Work Act. And with the Able to Work Act, again, individuals who are working and not participating in employer-sponsored retirement plan can actually save up to a maximum of around $30,590 in their ABLEnow account. So really just allowing for individuals to be able to have even more savings and still be eligible for those means tested benefits. As a quick note, the Federal ABLE Act of 2014 modified the U.S. Tax Code Section 529, and this is what opened the doors for ABLE accounts. The ABLE Act was named after the father who advocated for this change. His name was Mr. Stephen Beck Jr., and again, he was that father in Northern Virginia who advocated for people with disabilities. And unfortunately, Mr. Beck did pass away before the ABLE Act was signed into law. So they did want to name the law after him and thank him and honor him for his advocacy. So that's where we get the ABLE Act from. And the ABLE Act stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. And then lastly, in 2015, Virginia did become one of the first states to establish ABLE legislation, which opened the door for us to be able to build out our ABLE program, which is known as ABLEnow, and then later on, ABLE America. We'll touch on both of those programs in a bit as well. But again, just to kind of recap what are ABLE accounts. ABLE accounts are tax advantage savings accounts that allow for you all to be able to save funds without it endangering eligibility for those certain means tested benefits, like your supplemental security insurance or those Medicaid benefits. So what is ABLEnow? So we talked about the ABLE Act, which establishes the rules and requirements. And so now I'm going to spend some time and talk about ABLEnow. ABLEnow is the largest independent direct sold ABLE savings program in the country. And our program opened back in December of 2017. December of 2016. Although ABLEnow is sponsored by the Commonwealth of Virginia, it is available nationwide to eligible U.S. citizens and legal residents, regardless of their state of residency. We do have ABLE accounts in all 50 states as of today. And later in the presentation, we will review some of the advantages of the ABLEnow program, including the industry's first mobile app, which helps customers manage their accounts and improve accessibility. ABLEnow is administered by Virginia 529, and you may have heard about Virginia 529. Virginia 529 is an independent state agency that runs the largest college savings plan in the country. And we've been helping families dream, save, and achieve for over 25 years now. And with ABLEnow, our mission just becomes even more inclusive. So again, just to kind of recap, ABLEnow is the direct sold ABLE program offered by the Commonwealth of Virginia, and you just open and manage your ABLE account directly through our website, ablenow.com. Now, we are also very fortunate to have what is called an advisor sold program, and this program is called ABLE America. And ABLE America is the first advisor sold program available through a financial advisor. It's actually the first and only advisor sold ABLE program, and this program opened back in July of 2018. ABLE America is distributed by Capital Group, which is home of American Funds, and they are actually one of the nation's oldest and largest mutual fund companies. ABLE America is also open to eligible individuals in all 50 states. And like the other ABLE programs, ABLE America is governed by the rules and requirements established by the ABLE Act, such as who is eligible and how much you can save. and those other things as well. With Able America, a financial advisor can give professional advice and help you build a comprehensive plan tailored to your specific needs. So if you are interested in Able America, so let's say your family is already working with a financial advisor, maybe you want that financial advisor's assistance. What you would do is just contact a financial advisor in your area and see if they are licensed to work with the Able America program. And then what they could do is send you additional details and work with you to get that account set up. So again, Virginia offers ABLEnow, which is our direct program, and then Able America, which is our advisor sold program. And for the purposes of today's presentation, we are going to just solely focus on our direct sold program, ABLEnow. Now, you hear me talk about the eligibility requirements and the ABLE Act and establishing those eligibility requirements. So you're probably wondering, how do I know if I'm eligible, or who is an eligible individual? An eligible individual is someone who developed the onset of their disability before the age of 26, and they are entitled to supplemental security insurance or supplemental security income, or Social Security disability insurance benefits based on blindness or disability, or they can self-certify that they have a qualifying disability diagnosis from a physician. So again, to be an eligible individual, you must have developed the onset of your disability before age 26, and you are either entitled to SSI or SSDI, or you self-certify through your physician. It is important to note that eligible individuals may only have one ABLE account at any given time. So let's say you're going to open an ABLEnow account for yourself, but then let's say mom wants to open one for you as well. Mom would not be able to open that account because you've already opened one for yourself. So again, eligible individuals can only have one ABLE account at any given time. But also keep in mind too that ABLEnow is open to all eligible individuals in any state, and an eligible individual can open an ABLE account at any age. So again, keep in mind, you can open your ABLE account at any age as long as you've had the disability before the age of 26. So maybe you are 35 now, but you were born with your disability. You are still eligible to open your account. And then lastly, talking about those age requirements, I do want to let you all know that we have some very exciting news. Just a few months ago, the ABLE Age Adjustment Act was passed, and what that will do is that will raise the onset of disability prior to age 26 to prior to age 46. So that age limit's going to go from 26 to 46. That will go in effect in 2025. So we still have about a year left before that goes into effect. But that's just going to allow millions of more Americans to be eligible to have an ABLE account or an ABLEnow account. So let's say you've opened your account and you are adding those funds to your account. And now you're probably wondering, what can I use my funds for? Money in your ABLE account may be used at any time to pay for a qualified disability expense. And an expense is qualified if you incurred the expense at the time you were considered an eligible individual. The expense relates to your disability, and the expense helps to maintain your health, independence, and quality of life. Now, examples of a qualified disability expense include, but are not limited to, the categories you see listed here on this slide. These categories were intentionally designed to be very broad, as qualified disability expenses can vary widely from person to person. So we'll take a moment now just to look at the different categories. Your basic living expenses are going to include those daily, day-to-day living expenses. So think of things like groceries, or if you're eating out, or if you need clothing, or just basic toiletries, things like that. Health and wellness, housing. We get a lot of questions about housing benefits and if you can use your ABLE account to pay for housing. And the answer is yes, you definitely can. Education and training is another big one. And I do want to take a quick moment to let you all know that we do get questions a lot of times about if a family owned a 529 account, but now they determined an ABLE account would better suit their loved one. You can actually roll your 529 account into your ABLEnow account and still be able to use it for education and training. Assistive technology, legal fees. Maybe you want to open a special needs trust. You could use your ABLE account to cover the expenses of opening that special needs trust and even fund those special needs trusts. Or if other legal expenses or fees come up as well. So again, the main thing to keep in mind is if that expense is going towards maintaining your health, independence, and quality of life, it's going to be considered a qualified disability expense. And one thing that we do know is that we do not require receipts or documentation here at ABLEnow, but we do recommend that customers keep records and receipts of how they are spending their money in their ABLEnow account. And there's even an expense tracker through the online portal and through the mobile app. So what are the advantages of saving in an ABLEnow account? So the first, of course, is saving beyond those asset limitations. So generally funds in your ABLEnow account are disregarded when determining eligibility for certain means tested benefit programs such as Medicaid and supplemental security income. As a brief summary, if you are receiving those SSI benefits, you do want to keep this number in mind. So if you are receiving SSI benefits, an account balance up to and including $100,000 is disregarded. Money in an ABLEnow account in excess of $100,000 would be considered an asset and could cause those SSI benefits to be reduced or suspended. However, there is no impact on Medicaid benefits, regardless of how much money is in your ABLEnow account. Now, I do want to take a second to talk about the Medicaid payback or Medicaid clawback revision. Some of you all may be familiar with those Medicaid payback or Medicaid clawback provisions. And what that just states is that if an individual is receiving Medicaid and after they were to pass away, the state could request or get those funds back or reclaim those funds to reimburse them for those Medicaid related services. I do want to let you all know that here in the state of Virginia, they did pass legislation back in 2020 that got rid of that Medicaid clawback provision when it comes to ABLE accounts. So here in the state of Virginia, you do not have to worry about that Medicaid recovery claim or Medicaid clawback provision towards ABLE accounts unless it's required to do so by federal law. So we do get some questions about that sometimes. So I did want to take a moment to just touch on that. But again, that first advantage, saving beyond those asset limitations. The second advantage, save with the help of others. Anyone can make a contribution to an ABLEnow account, including the account owner, their family, their friends. And making a gift contribution is very easy. We do have information on our website on how you can make those gift contributions. And then there's also direct deposit. So with direct deposit, your paycheck, your Social Security income, or other recurring electronic payments can be automatically deposited into your ABLEnow account. The third advantage is you can save in an account designed for your unique needs. So again, ABLEnow accounts are flexible and low cost to maintain, and I will touch on those account fees a little later in the presentation. You can manage your account at any time, anywhere with an accessible online tool and that mobile app that I mentioned. And you can pay for your qualified disability expenses with your ABLEnow card. This card is available to all account holders at no additional cost. The card is a Visa debit card, so it can be used wherever Visa is accepted. And then lastly, you can save tax-free. Earnings and investments in an ABLEnow account are going to grow tax-free and are never taxed when used for a qualified disability expense. ABLEnow contributions may also qualify for the Savers Tax Credit if the account owner is eligible. And then in addition, Virginia also offers a state tax deduction benefit for contributions made to an ABLEnow account. So for individuals who live here in Virginia, if they make a contribution to an ABLEnow account, regardless if they are the account owner or not, they can take up to a $2,000 state tax deduction for those contributions into an ABLEnow or Able America account. For complete rules and details, we do encourage you to visit our website, ablenow.com, under our FAQs page or that program description. And just keep in mind, again, we are not licensed tax advisors. So if you do have those specific questions, especially on that Savers Tax Credit, we just encourage you to reach out to those individuals that will be able to assist you. Great. So ABLEnow also makes it really easy to save and invest at your own pace. And here is how that will work. So the first $2,000 in your ABLEnow account is automatically allocated to an FDIC-insured ABLEnow deposit account. And this account is linked directly to that ABLEnow card. A lot of times we refer to this account just as the deposit account. So again, that first $2,000 will go directly to your deposit account. And then after that, you can decide to continue saving your contributions in that deposit account, or once the balance of your ABLEnow deposit account exceeds $2,000, you have the option to invest additional contributions into one or more investment portfolio. Each portfolio option is intended to address a different investment strategy and risk tolerance. So you see we offer aggressive growth, moderate growth, conservative income, and money market. And again, keep in mind that this is optional. So you could decide to just have those contributions continue to go directly to your deposit account, which is linked to your debit card, or you could decide to invest some of those funds. So maybe you want to save for the long term. Maybe you want to save up for a vehicle or to make some accessible changes or modifications to your home and want to invest some of those funds. So again, you do have that investment option, and it is truly optional and up to the account holder. I did mention fees earlier, and there are minimal costs associated with maintaining your account. ABLEnow, along with our custodian PNC Bank, offers some of the lowest fees in the country among ABLE programs. And the great thing is the fees are going to be the same for all customers, regardless of their state residency. There is no enrollment fee and no minimum contribution. So the great thing is that you could decide to open an account today, and you don't have to worry about funding that account today. And then once you have that account open, you don't have to worry about making a monthly contribution or meeting a minimum contribution amount. There is an account service fee of $3.25 per month, and that service fee is waived if you maintain a balance of over $10,000 in that ABLEnow deposit account. And then if the account owner or their authorized representative chooses to invest some of the funds, there are some asset-based fees depending on the investment selection that you do choose. And we do have a full account fee schedule available directly in our website. And again, that website is ablenow.com. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about how to open an account and what information is needed. So if you're ready to start your savings, ABLEnow is open for enrollment. And again, the application is available directly on our website, ablenow.com. And you'll see that purple tab at the top of the screen that says open an account. And you'll click on that and it'll take you directly to that online portal. You'll also see links on the top of our website to manage your account, give a gift, to subscribe to our newsletter, and contact customer service. So who can open an ABLEnow account? So of course, the eligible individual may open and manage an ABLEnow account independently if they are over the age of 18. But let's say the eligible individual is a minor under the age of 18, or they are unable to open their account, or they choose to open an account but do not want to exercise signature authority. They can actually have an individual authorized to act on their behalf, open and manage the account for them. And this individual would be known as the authorized representative. Now, what information or documentation do you need to open an account? So let's say you're going to open that account for yourself. You'll need to provide your personally identifiable information, including your name, address, date of birth, and social security number. And then you'll have the choice to enter bank account information with your application, or you can always log back in at a later date and add that bank information if you would like. Now, let's say you're going to open the account for someone else as an authorized representative. You'll need to provide that personally identifiable information for yourself as well for the eligible individual. And keep in mind, the eligible individual is always going to be considered the account owner of the ABLE account. Now let's take a second to look at who can open the account as an authorized representative. So parents, grandparents, siblings, and spouses, they can open an ABLE account by self-certifying their relationship to the eligible individual. And for these categories of eligible family members, no type of documentation of the relationship is required during enrollment. So if you are a mom and you want to open an account for your 18-year-old son, you can do that and you won't have to submit any proof or documentation. But let's say you are a legal guardian or a care representative, or maybe you have power of attorney for the eligible individual. If you fall in this category, you are going to be required to upload appropriate legal documentation electronically before being able to contribute or withdraw funds from your ABLEnow account or even use that ABLEnow card. But don't worry, because applicants in these categories will receive instructions on how to submit that required documentation during enrollment. I also want to let you all know that we've also expanded who can open an account as an authorized representative. So authorized representatives can now include rep payees and organizational rep payees as well. ABLEnow, again, makes it very easy to manage your account 24/7 with our online consumer portal. You can access your account by selecting My Account from the website. Mobile users can also download and use the ABLEnow app. The mobile app makes it very convenient to manage your account from the go. To manage your account on your mobile device on the go. And the ABLEnow mobile app is available in the Apple App Store and also the Android Google Play Store as well. And whether you're using the online portal or the mobile app, you'll be able to check your available balances. You can make contributions or pay for a qualified disability expense. You can upload a receipt and to organize and track those qualified disability expenses with that expense tracker that I mentioned. You can view your account statements and notifications and even reach out directly to customer service. And one thing that we really encourage account holders to do is make sure they're protecting their account with a strong password and keeping that contact information up to date. It is very, very important that you keep your contact information up to date. So I always encourage account holders to log in every, month or couple of times a month, just to make sure that their password and everything stays up to date, but then also making sure those emails, mailing address, and phone numbers are up to date as well. And then a newer feature that you'll receive when you set an account up is the Financial Resource Hub. And this is available on your online account portal. And this will allow you to explore content and just get tools to help you strengthen your financial wellness and maximize your ABLE account. All right. So, as a thank you to the ARC of Northern Virginia and to you all taking the time out of your busy day, I do want to offer you all the opportunity to enter to win $500 towards an ABLEnow account. And this is very easy. If you have your phone, you can scan that QR code on your screen. If not, you could just go to ablenow.com/win, and I will put that link directly in the chat as well. So that way you can click on that. But if you have an existing account or you're interested in opening an account, this is a great way to, enter to win to see if you'll get that $500 towards your ABLEnow account. And I'll go ahead and put that chat in the, let's see if I can. I'll get that in there in just a second. But again, that link is ablenow.com/win, or you could scan that QR code. All right. So I know this was a lot of information that we covered today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time to cover these frequently asked questions, and then we'll go ahead and look at the questions that you all have submitted. Once I'm done with the frequently asked questions, if you want to unmute yourself, just let us know and you can unmute to ask your question. But again, first I'll start with these and then we'll turn it over and look at some of those questions that you all may have. So the first question here is, I'm older than the age of 26. Can I open an ABLEnow account? And the answer is yes. So keep in mind, an eligible individual is someone who developed the onset of their disability before the age of 26, but they can be older than 26 and still open an ABLEnow account. The next question here is, do I need to live in a certain state to open an ABLEnow account? And the answer is no. So ABLEnow is a nationwide program. So although we are the Virginia-sponsored ABLE Savings Program, we do offer nationwide enrollment. So that means if you live in Northern Virginia and maybe relocate later on, you could still keep your ABLEnow account with us. The next question here is, how much can I save in my ABLEnow account each year? So for the remainder of this year, 2023, you could save up to $17,000 in your account. And then starting January 1st of 2024, you'll be able to save up to $18,000 per year in that ABLEnow account. This next question, this is a really popular question that we get. And this question is, can I have an ABLEnow account and a special needs trust? And the answer is yes. You can have an ABLEnow account in conjunction with other types of trusts and accounts. And for some families, it may make sense to have both an ABLEnow account in a special needs trust. And so we do just encourage you to reach out to individuals that can assist with getting that information on those special needs trusts. And I do know that the ARC of Northern Virginia does handle a lot with those special needs trusts. So that's a great place to turn to get more information if you are interested in having a special needs trust as well. But yes, you can have both an ABLEnow account and a special needs trust. And again, for some families, it may be very beneficial to have both. The next question here is, who can contribute to my ABLEnow account? And the answer is anyone can make a contribution. Keep in mind, the holidays will be here in about 2 weeks or so. So now is a great time to think about opening an ABLEnow account and having your friends and family make those gift contributions to your ABLEnow account and helping to grow that savings for you. And the last question here is, where do I go to open my ABLEnow account? And you're going to do it directly from our website, ablenow.com. All right, so let's see here. Thank you for adding that link in there. Again, it's ablenow.com/win if you're interested in that. So we're going to go ahead here and touch on some of the questions.
Brittany, can you see the
Yes,
questions in the Q&A box?
I sure
Okay,
can. I can. Thank you. All right, so a really good question that we have here is concerning kind of an ABLEnow account and a special needs trust. And since I just touched on those, I'll kind of go ahead and dive into that question. So this person wants to know, what is the best option to have an ABLEnow account and a special needs trust? So again, keep in mind the biggest difference between the ABLEnow account and the special needs trust are going to be the amounts that you can save. So ABLEnow accounts are going to have a low price point to get into, but they're going to have a cap on how much you can save each year. Whereas the special needs trust typically are going to be a little more to get into unless you're doing, a special type of like pooled trust, but you're going to be able to save more in those special needs trust. So I'll give an example of a family that I met a couple of years ago. Their daughter had a traumatic brain injury due to a motor vehicle accident, and they received a large settlement. And so the father had an ABLEnow account for his daughter, but then that settlement was just too much to put into that ABLEnow account. So what they did is they established a special needs trust so that they could have those settlement funds go into that special needs trust. And then they were able to transfer the funds over from the special needs trust to the ABLE account, and even vice versa, have funds go from the ABLE account to the special needs trust. So again, for each family, it may be a different situation why you may need to have both, or maybe why you want to have both, or maybe you just want to have one or the other. Again, the ARC of Northern Virginia is usually who we go to when we want more information on the special needs trust, and they do have a lot of great information that they can share with you all if you do have more questions about those trusts. Very good question. All right. So another great question here. This person wants to know, are my contributions all post-tax contributions? And the answer is yes. So even if you set it up like automatic contributions, or maybe your loved one, or you set up payroll deduction, it is still going to be post-tax contributions. So your contributions will go in post-tax. But keep in mind, you're also going to get some tax-free growth at the state and federal level. And then as a Virginia resident, you can also qualify for a state tax deduction. All right, so we do have a question in here about the Savers tax credit. Keep in mind that unfortunately, I am not the tax professional. So if you do have questions about those Savers tax credits, we just encourage you to reach out to individuals who will be able to assist you or answer those questions for you. You also can check our website, ablenow.com. I believe we may have a small blog article that talks on those tax benefits around ABLE accounts. And I believe there is a resource in there that applies to that Savers tax credit. Very good question. All right, let's see here. So we do have a good question here. This person is stating that Social Security states that money left from the SSI payment after meeting the beneficiary's day-to-day and personal needs should be saved in an interest-paying bank account. Can the leftover money be put into an ABLE account? And the answer is yes, absolutely. And you can actually have those those SSI payments go directly into your ABLEnow account if you would like. You don't have to, but you do have that capability of having the funds go directly into that ABLEnow account if you would like. Very great question. All right, so we have a good question here. Okay, so this individual has a unique situation where Their son just relocated to Georgia. They opened an ABLE account for them here in the state of Virginia. And they want to know, does the dad have to now open the ABLE account in Georgia and they just transfer the funds over? How would that work? So it's going to be really what works best for you. You can still keep your account for your son, your ABLEnow account for your son here in Virginia, and you be the one to manage it, have, disperse those funds. Or if you would like, the son's father can open an account in that state, and you can always transfer the ABLE funds from Virginia to that other state's plan if you would like. So again, it's really going to be what works best for you in your family situation. Either you could decide to keep your Virginia account, make this contribution, use that account for him, or just have those funds rolled into an account in that state of Georgia. Very great question. You can always also change account hold or authorized representatives on the account as well. So if you want, you could always have someone else listed to manage that account for you. Very great questions. All right. And then a follow-up to that question is there a way to check to make sure there's not more than one account open, or to check to make sure there's not one open in another state? And unfortunately, at the moment, there is not a system to kind of cross-check to make sure that an individual doesn't have more than one account. So that is something that you're going to want to just make sure that you're paying attention to. All right, so a great question here. This person wants to know, their child is 17 and they're not fully verbal. They want to know, can they go ahead and open an ABLE account now? And the answer is absolutely yes. You can definitely open that ABLE account. And if you are the parent, you can open and manage that ABLE account for them. When they turn 18, you don't have to turn over ownership. You could stay as the authorized representative on that account. Very good question. And then a follow-up question, can SSI funds be placed into an ABLEnow account? And the answer is yes. So we have some families that will have the funds go directly into their ABLEnow account, or they may have the funds go to a checking or savings account and then transfer the funds later on if they would like. All right. And then the last question that I have here, this person just wants to know, they tried to open an account for their child, and it looks like they were just having a couple of issues with things getting some kind of error message. If that happens to you, what you will want to do is just reach out to our customer service team. And that is going to be the slide that I am going to show you guys now. So the ABLEnow customer service team, you can reach out to excuse me, guys, sorry. So you could go to our website, ablenow.com, or you could call our customer service team at 1-844-669-2253. They are available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. They'll be more than happy to assist you. So again, if you're having issues with your application, if you're getting error message, or maybe you just have questions after today's webinar, and you want to reach out with someone and speak with them, our customer service team is available to assist you. We also have a lot of great resources available on our website as well. So today we covered our basic presentation, but we also have a video on our website that talks about how to use your ABLEnow account, some of those tax advantages, and then we have a page full of some great blog articles, videos from families and current account holders that are kind of like testimonial videos. So we always encourage families and individuals to check out our website as well. But with that being said, I'll double check to see if we have any additional questions coming in. All right, so I don't see any additional questions. So with that being said, I thank you all, and I'll turn it back over to you, Diane.
Brittany, thank you so much. That was such great information. Just as a reminder, I will send the slides to everyone and a recording of the video. But I will also share some information on special needs trusts. And we also have created a comparison sheet that shows the differences between special needs trusts and ABLE accounts, and I'll share
I have used it so
yeah.
many times. I
So
use
I
it
will
all the time.
share that too. And actually, I think there is one more
Oh,
question
yes, absolutely. Yep.
in the Q&A box.
Yeah, so this question has to do with investments, and they want to know, is there a loss on principal on the investment account? That is a really great question. So keep in mind that is one of the risks if you do decide to invest some of those funds. So if you go into one of those investment portfolios, just keep in mind that depending on how the market does can determine how your account will perform, and there could be some potential loss to the principal amount that you invest into the account. However, with that deposit account I mentioned, that one that's linked to your card, that is a FDIC insured deposit account. So that is what we call principal protected, and there will be no loss to principal on that account, but you will get some growth on that account. Very great question.
Great. Thank
Oh,
you, Brittany.
you're very welcome.
I don't see. Oh, there is. Gina, you have a question? I believe everyone's muted, so yeah, you'll have to type it into the chat box.
I think they said
Oh,
no.
okay.
Awesome.
All right, great. All right. Well,
Awesome.
thanks again, Brittany, very much.
Very
And
welcome.
thank you all for attending. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.
Yes, and you have my email too. So if someone has a tricky question, you
Okay,
can send it over my way and I'll be more than happy to help.
great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.